Welcome to another Backpage Lead vidcast, and I have with me today BRENDON MURNANE, Billy to his friends. Now, Bill, we're talking about UFC, this phenomenon which appears to be sweeping the world, and it bills itself as the most popular sport in the world, or sorry, the most. It's growing at the fastest rate.
Yes, the fastest rate. Yes.
Now, I'm an old fuddy-duddy, and I'm bald and got glasses and getting man boobs. I don't understand this phenomenon. Can you please tell me what the appeal is with these two blokes going at it in a cage, and then when one of them appears to be flattened, the other one's allowed to get on top and pummel the bejesus out of them?
Well,
or have I got it wrong?
I'd say you've got it wrong a little bit, Charlie. I think the appeal is definitely there because at the end of every sporting event, doesn't matter what it is, people go to the ice hockey, they don't go to see the goals, they go to see the fights, you know. You don't go to the sprint cars or the V8s to see the race, you go to see the crashes, you know. It's the excitement. And I think two blokes going, you know, fist to fist, so to speak, is what people want to see.
Bill, I get boxing. I get it. You get flattened, you're down on the canvas, the ref steps in, counts you out, game over. Yes. I don't get the cage fighting where it appears to me, and I've watched it on 1HD a few times, Bill, so I'm no aficionado, but I get a little bit of it. A bloke is down and the other guy just can get on top and hoe into him while the ref seems to be in the corner of the cage filing his nails. Is that right?
Well, yes, to an extent, but the ref isn't actually filing his nails. He can stop the fight at any time, and I think the difference between boxing and mixed martial arts, many people will argue that mixed martial arts is actually safer, because in boxing it's 12 rounds, you know, and you get knocked down, you get stood back up, you get knocked down again, you get stood back up, and this is where the punch-drunk theory comes in. With mixed martial arts, however, you can actually finish a fight without one punch being thrown. You know, there's many different ways for a fight to end: a knockout, submission, verbal submission, or referee stoppage. Which, you know, boxing, you know, very few times does this happen. It either goes to 12 rounds, or, you know, it finishes in the 10th or 11th fight, as we saw with the Manny Pacquiao fight.
So it's good, clean, healthy fun. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Oh no, but I like to side on the view that it is safer than boxing.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Is it a generational thing? Like I was telling you about my physical shortcomings a moment ago. You're a Gen Y boy. I mean, do you and your mates watch it? And is it really popular among your age group and your mid-20s?
I think the 18 to 35 is probably the demographic that people go for. Not many of my friends watch it, but you know, they're out, you know, throwing the bowl down the greens at the local bowls club, Charlie. You know, they're not really into the mixed martial arts. But I don't know. I don't think it is a Gen Y thing, because it's billed as being very primal. You know, people. This is just not something that's come along the past decade that people fight each other. This has been happening for centuries, and they compare it to gladiators, and it's not as barbaric as or as bloodthirsty as, you know, the Romans as such. But you know, it definitely goes back to our genetics, I think.
Very primal. I think that's probably a good word. I'd almost call it caveman, where the days we used to drag our wives around by their hair with a club.
I settled.
But it has met with sort of indifference, I would say, in parts of the world, such as Germany, I think, where I think they had the media and various parts of the population sort of arced up about this mixed martial arts being fought in a cage in Germany. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, when it got to Germany, they held an event a couple of weeks ago there, but it wasn't that event, it was the one before that. Yeah, the media just turned on them, and it was actually removed from television, so mixed martial arts cannot be shown on German television at all.
What amazing. And the Victorian state government has also ruled against it as well, whereas they have had a UFC 116, I think, in Sydney. Is that right?
Yeah, well, 110 was in Sydney last February this year, and there's going to be 127, I think, in February next year.
So I think James Merlino is the sports minister who's...
At the moment, Charlie.
Yeah, well, I think thumbs up for James Merlino. It's almost a reason to vote for the Labor government next week. That is bringing a little bit of style and taste and class back to Victoria, which is a good thing. What else can you tell me about this raging phenomenon, Bill, that we, you know, I mean, about the appeal? I just... Well, you haven't convinced me that I should tune into 1HD.
Well, it is massive in Australia. Australia is one of the biggest four markets that they're going into. You know, America, obviously, where it originates. Canada's another massive one. London and England is probably their third biggest in Australia, is knocking on the door. We've got a fighter, George Sotiropoulos, doing very, very well. He could have a shot at the title probably in his next 2 fights, I think. So it's in 130 countries worldwide, 20 different languages, and it's basically in 8 different countries at the moment. Live events, that is.
There's only one language you need to know, though, isn't it? That's violence, or
I think sport. I think sport's the language.
Well, tell us about George Sotiropoulos, who's a Geelong native, actually, isn't he? And who's done incredibly well, and is a middleweight contender. Yeah,
he's a lightweight contender. He fights at 155 in the UFC. From Geelong, he's shifted all around the world. He's fought in Japan, he's fought in Europe, and now he's fighting in North America. Done it tough. He tells you he slept on all the boxing ring floors and over the years and struggled to get fights. But he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, and he fought on the weekend in the last UFC, and he defeated Joe Lauzon by Kimura.
Kimura, yep.
Yeah, and you were asking me about this the other day, Charlie. It's just an arm lock. But
don't demonstrate. No,
no, I won't. But he's very good, and he'll be fighting at, as I said, UFC 127, which is a major draw card in Sydney. I think that last event sold out in under an hour.
Really?
And holds the record at Acer Arena for biggest sellout.
How many do they get to Acer Arena? Do you know?
It's mid 17,000s. Yeah, 7,500.
Sold out in an hour.
Sold out now, and they'll be doing it again this February. So yeah, look out.
Look out, fuddy-duddies like me. Brendan, thanks for explaining that. I think perhaps closer to the time when they do fight in Sydney, we should perhaps preview the show.
Yes, no doubt.
I'll try and swat up on this phenomenon and make sure that I have a better understanding of it. So thanks, Brendan.
No worries.
And we will move aside fuddy-duddies. I think the lawn bowls and the golf and the tennis might be the way of the past, and we've been confronted by this amazing new cage fighting phenomenon, which Backpage Lead is not entirely convinced about, but we will dip our toe in the water. Thank you.